Well, motherfucking well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a glorious and absolutely motherfucking glorious Monday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. There is plenty of bright light outside and plenty of bright light in the charts right now as well, kind of, depending upon what side you're on. Anyways, plenty to talk about today, and yes, no Elsa, actually. I'm going to be missing my co-pilot, my assistant here, and that means that if you do send in any chats, understand it's going to be a very fucking difficult day for me because I'm going to have to fish them out, and with that in mind, I'm going to turn off the alerts for that right now. We have plenty to discuss today, all with the higher term timeframes, mostly as we do have, of course, a quarterly closure coming in on Thursday of this week. And then on top of that, we do have obviously our next weekly that just closed last night for spot price action, obviously following through with what we saw in CME as well. And with that said, Justin Young is out. No Elsa. Yeah, man. Yeah, she's not here. She's not going to actually be here this whole week. In fact, she's on a little bit of a vacation, a well-deserved vacation, actually. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the Krown chain application. I would like to wish you the best bets and the happies before we do that. And we got plenty to discuss right here on the top end dashboard. Bitcoin dominance continues to go up. So whatever move that we are seeing, whether you are bullish or bearish, Bitcoin is leading here. And that actually would be really, really good if Bitcoin does actually resolve this to the upside, which I do still think that there's a chance, obviously. But ever since we had our lower high at about 48,000 in some odd change, well, it's been a downtrend and the way to be trading is down. And that really hasn't changed this whole past week. So with that in mind, we do see that the fear and greed index is also about the most fearful zone that we have seen. Get a haircut. My God, says Mr. Miller. Sir, hey, don't give a fuck. Jesus Christ, man. It's like, come onto the internet and complain. What's up, Mr. Spencer Smith? Your hair is sexy. Man, you have no idea. You have no idea what this hair can do. It has a mind of its own. But yes, the fear and greed index is actually the lowest that we have seen in, I believe, about 2 months now. 2.5 months actually to the day. Anyways, on top of that, we actually do see some phenomenal winners in the last 24 hours, which is quite a surprise to myself. Not just winners, but major double-digit winners. I mean, Perpetual Protocol, what the fuck that thing is, up 50%. Uniswap, Sushi Swap, all the fucking swaps up 20% or more. Curve DAO, Compound, eCash, that sounds legitimate. Aave and Mina, all up double digits, looking pretty damn good right there. Anyways, with that said, let's go into the market data tab. There actually is some really, really important data over here, and which is starting to make me consider, there might be a legitimate possibility of a trap going on right here. The reason why I say that is because the global funding rate has been consistently negative and trending down realistically since late August, actually, but it's been actually negative, meaning that shorts pay longs for the past couple weeks here, actually. Now, this is coming alongside of global open interest coming down as well, and the global leverage ratio also trending down. So what does that essentially imply? That essentially implies that shorts have been piling on, or not, I wouldn't necessarily say piling on during this region, but we do see the $40,000 level hold alongside leverage essentially coming off. But the positions that are more leveraged are right now on the short side, being a little more aggressive with that. That is what the funding rate does imply. It doesn't imply that there's more shorts. That's a really, 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 really bad misinterpretation, although it probably sounds relatively similar. The exchanges that you're typically looking at on the Wild West crypto shit exchanges are all 1-to-1. But what this does suggest is that people are being more aggressive with their shorting in comparison to the index, which is, spot exchanges, typically, Coinbase, Bitstamp, and maybe like a few others, including the index as well. So that is actually rather interesting to myself. And then, of course, we do still see some more, I suppose, hodling going on over here as well, as we do see the exchanges Bitcoin Reserve continuing to not just trend down, but massively come down. And of course, the exchanges net flow has been consistently negative for the last few days as well. So with all of that said, these are all secondary sort of tools to be looking at, but I do think that it is rather compelling. Anyways, before we get into that, I should address the elephant in the room today, or I don't know if it's actually going to be today, but it is certainly this week, and I believe it is slated for today, but we're not necessarily sure just yet because these things always, changes always happen at the last fucking seconds. But there is a major vote on the infrastructure deal, I do believe, which does and very likely will have major implications for cryptocurrency land across pretty much all markets, realistically. And of course, if you've actually been paying attention, you very likely know, or you probably come to the same conclusion as myself, and maybe let me know if you disagree. However, it'd be kind of a hard argument, but I guess I should stay open-minded as well. And again, I do have to remind you guys, if you are sending in chats right now, it's going to be really, really difficult for me to fish them out. So I'll do my best, but please understand, it's probably going to be better if you just wait until I get through with Bitcoin over here. Anyways, yes, the infrastructure deal. So that is going to obviously drive traditional markets. And well, if they do have a good resolution, then I suppose we can continue the party for a little bit longer, although certainly cracks are showing right now. And if not, if there's any sort of, pussyfooting around or animosity with any uncertainty, most importantly, importantly, that is going to very likely be the next major crack within this market as we do get ready for, another drive down. But with that said, on the weekly right here, we did just get a weekly closure, obviously yesterday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way, I want to say massive thank you to everyone liking this video. We already have like 200 likes, which is kind of insane. I mean, that happened actually rather fast, and it actually does help out the channel. But then again, we also kind of want to keep the cave secret as well. You have to find your way here. You have to find your way here. We don't do like fucking guerrilla marketing and shit like that, like some projects. Anyways, with that said, yes, we did break below the 21 exponential average yesterday. It was an ever so slight closure below, but so was this right on over here. And you can see that, well, while Bitcoin could very easily rally up to 46,000 bucks today, or I don't know about today, but sometime this week, I would be looking at this as essentially continuation of trend. It might be a little bit more obvious if we do put it on a line chart yet again, because we do and we have confirmed a lower high a couple weeks ago. Or I guess it was at the beginning of last week, if you're even the most conservative trader, right here on the weekly. So we do have a low, we do have a high, we do have a lower low, ever so slightly, and we do have a lower high right here. The etchings of what you might even call a downtrend on the weekly, which has gotten all major directions in Bitcoin's history, to be fair. Now, with that said, if I go back on over here and put these babies back on over here, technically speaking, after a little bit of a pop back up to start off the week, I do look for moves down somewhere around the 55 in this case, as we did discuss on yesterday's long-term analysis video, which you can view at any moment in time, and I'll leave it, and it's in the long-term analysis playlist if you happen to give a fuck. But I won't be going over all of the data in there today because it's just going to be too long, and there's actually enough going on in the short-term timeframes right now to discuss that. Anyways, with that said, if we do go into the short-term timeframes right here and follow up on yesterday's analysis, you gotta fucking love this, baby. You gotta fucking love this. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or anything like this, but I do want to call back to all the people who've been here, especially at the start of this channel in like 2018, 2019, especially when we did have these sort of formations going on. These are back. And when was the last time that we really saw a lot of this shit? That was back really well when Bitcoin was in a weekly downturn. We'll just put it that way. How about that? Anyways, with that said, this is the good old Bart. Maybe more obviously on an hourly right here. We did say, hey, yesterday we've seen this a million fucking times before. Very likely to break down somewhere around about 41,000 bucks, but I would not be looking for an actual break just yet, even if it is going to break to begin with. And first and foremost, I would be looking for a rally back above about 44,000 bucks if Bitcoin can take out the 42.5 region right here after that bounce. We got exactly that, and now Bitcoin dancing around on what would be a lower high structure. With that said, there is something here for the Bulas as far as patterns go, and a rather respectable pattern as well. We do have a bit of a W going on right now, and there is a measure move to be made off of this, and this can massively change the prior analysis that I had over the weekend, and would actually change my biases if this does play out. And we're going to come up with areas of interest, areas of contingency, and obviously invalidation points with this as well, so you can see exactly how this operates. But going off of this right over here, a W formation, very, very simple. You do have this sort of, it's essentially an accumulation, and we do see that as far as the underlying market dynamics go. That is actually rather clear, as this is more or less spot driven on the whole. But that would have a measure move actually back above our last lower high on the daily, which is 48,000 bucks right here, technically speaking, all the way up to about almost 49,000 bucks. And if that does play out, I imagine that would come alongside the back of some really, really good news, if you will, a good result from this infrastructure deal. And that would look pretty damn good, because not only would, again, Bitcoin be confirming this as a bit of accumulation, and, we did have a nice volume spike on that last low right there, but it would also be a rejection of going below the 200 exponential average right here, of which we do have several wicks below, which is a good sign. And we also would navigate successfully, if you don't want to be bearish in this case, back above the potential silver downside cross right here, which is between the 21 and the 55. And those are coming ever so slightly amongst each other. And guess where the 55 is right now? Right at 45,000 bucks. So a very, very big pivot right there. That would also simultaneously be the resolution point of that short-term time frame pattern. And if that does happen, I'd at the very least be looking for Bitcoin to pop back up somewhere around about 47,000 bucks. Could we see a lower high right there? Possibly, yes. The technical target, however, is a little bit higher and would put Bitcoin on a new high as well. And that would make me obviously bullish coming into October, very likely for a run, into the deep $50,000 territory. Remember, not today, but this week is very, very important, because we do have the quarterly closure on Thursday. Let me just double check. Thursday on the Thursday the 30th, that is. There's only 30 days in September, apparently. Anyways, with that in mind, and again, I gotta warn you guys, if you're sending in chats right now, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to pull them back up, and I want to be respectful towards that, but hope that I'm being clear right now. Anyways, if Bitcoin does close above the topside Tron band on the quarterly coming into, again, Thursday, which is currently situated just above 44,000 bucks, we're pretty much there right now, actually ever so slightly above, then I would have a bullish bias coming into the end of the year. Probably, October, could still very easily backfill down to like 35,000 bucks, which by the way would be a test down to the weekly 55. But ultimately, I would be looking at that as a major opportunity coming into November and December, especially for new all-time highs. Now, with that said, you can see that all of this kind of plays with each other right now, and a lot of it's probably going to be decided today. If Bitcoin does fail this area, put in a lower high right here on, your 4-hour time frame even, then I would say that that's probably going to be the next big and obvious sign that we're going to be very comfortably living below the $40,000 territory, at least for, at least for like a couple weeks. With that in mind. So let me actually just show you this and a good old trick right here. Would you be bullish or bearish on this chart? That is the real question. Would you be bullish or bearish on this chart? I always love doing this because it really erases a lot of biases. I'll even get rid of the moving averages. You don't need them right now. And you can just look at the good old dildos themselves. Are you bullish or bearish on this chart? Would you buy this chart? Would you buy this chart? Would you buy this chart? I think this one starts to get a little more compelling. Would you buy this chart? Oh, would you buy that chart? I have another chart to sell you over here. Would you like to buy this chart as well? Anyways, I do want to show my testnet account over here as I have put on some new positions based off of the last weekly closure. Actually, before we do that, I should go through lower term time from momentum oscillators. Let's go over here to CME. CME is showing a little bit more of a bullish bias here as well, at least for the short term time frames. If we do close the next 4-hour dildo above 42,700, then we will see this cross back up and also play out a trend line test going in back from our September 20th lows right here and right here on this nice up thrust move. So if that does happen, again, mediated by the $45,000 region right there on a closing basis, nothing less than a closing basis, at the very least, I'd be looking for a move somewhere around about 47 or so. And then you better hope that it plays out the fucking W technical target. Otherwise, back down to the gutter we go, baby. And I imagine that probably also comes in line with one of our fibs right here as well. Let's just double check. What do you know? There's the 786 right in line at that $47,000 territory. Let's see what the other lower term time frame momentum oscillators are suggesting right now. We do see that buy hourly showing up as long as we're below as long as we are above 42,400. Hourly is going to be showing up as long as we're above 44,300. So this one's saying we either move like now in early in the day or get ready for those lower highs. And again, where was a 4-hour pivot? 42,700. That one's going to be of particular interest. Anywhere below there, I'd start to really look for more meaningful continuation to the downside sooner rather than later, that is. Anyways, 12-hour, what are we looking like right here? Looking good, at least for now. 43,000 bucks, going to be the magical number right there. And daily, what are we looking for right here? 42,000 bucks, same thing, rejection the bearish control zone if that condition is met. So a lot of things hinged at around 42.5 or 42,000 bucks. Below there, I would, really start to look for that continuation leg down. Next target would be somewhere down around the last prior daily low not the last prior daily low, but one of the major lows that we did see in early August, somewhere between about 38, maybe 37 or such. Very likely to bounce there and then works its way lower over the next couple of weeks. Now, again, just looking at this right here, I mean, it is kind of hard not to look at this whole distributive effect over here and not think that this is very, very similar. But for what it's worth, again, Bitcoin will have a chance here, and 45,000 bucks going to be the major pivot on that. Jesus Christ, man, my hair is actually getting in front of my face. It's kind of getting annoying now, to be honest with you. Maybe I do just cut it because it's like actually annoying. All right, so I should probably show my my testnet account as well. I put on a bunch, I wouldn't say a bunch of new positions, but I put on a few new positions over here. Let me just get rid of my fucking rat face and let's see this. Okay, so what did I do? All right, so I own the $60,000 call strike December regulars, or December quarterlies right there. And essentially what I did coming into this week is I sold the front month October's against that. So I basically have a time spread on between the October, December $60,000 call strike done 30 times. Yep. And then also I put on a bit of a put spread. I actually bought this put spread right here because the prices were a little bit too good. The 40-35 put spread right there, as I would actually, if I do want to play a downside move, that's the way that I want to do it right here. I don't necessarily want to be short contracts. I'd rather just cover, in this case, probably with short calls, because I still, even if Bitcoin does break down here to the mid to low $30,000 territory, I actually don't think that Bitcoin's going to be breaking below 30,000 bucks. Can it happen? Yeah, absolutely. But I think that we're so well and far away from that right now. It's not like the main consideration that I have at the front of my of my mind's eye. Anyways, let me put back on my camera right now. And we'll go back on over here, and maybe now we can get into the good old comments. Or actually, before that, I should talk about, of course, Nasdaq right here. Again, I gotta tell you guys, for everyone who's sending in super chats right now, please understand it's gonna be very difficult for me to fish them out if you don't simply wait for me to like get through the early morning rigmarole. But yeah, looking at Nasdaq right here, this one is starting to price in. It's essentially what it's doing right here is it's pricing in a positive result from the infrastructure deal. Now, are these typically right? Actually, yes, they are typically right, but I would say that there was something of great significance that happened. God fucking damn it! Seriously, stop for the love of God. Again, I appreciate it, but seriously, this might not work out too well. Anyways, looking at the weekly right here, again, a phenomenal buyback, and this week should open up on a bit of an up, somewhere right around about 15.5 or so, as we've already hit our 15.3 target. But we did have our first break of the 55 right here on the daily, and the weekly hasn't really broken anything. So I do think that this market can stay up for a little bit longer. I still stick with my calls in like late October, maybe November or December for a 15 to 20% correction. And obviously that would come alongside, a good result this week with that infrastructure deal. So if that does happen, that would really help the Bitcoin Bula case, especially for the short and medium term, and then have bleed on over effects into the daily right now. So dare I say it? And actually, I really, again, appreciate the feedback on what I've been saying over the past like couple weeks here, talking about bear traps within this region. Again, I really, really appreciate that feedback. It's actually really helped me and made me realize that, the strong majority of people like get this shit very, very well, which is awesome. And that's why I love this community. But yes, back above $48,000. I'd be very happy to call this bear trap. First sort of initial warning flag is going to be back above about $45,000. However, not conclusive, and obviously the quarterly closure matters more than anything else. Anyways, as far as momentum oscillators go right here, is there anything of particular interest? Jules bouncing on the daily, but not really giving me too much. What about CME right here? CME is kind of coming into a bouncy area as well, but we've already played out a bounce from that region, also grabbing onto the 200 simple right there as well. CME, a lot more conclusive, back above $45,000. That would look pretty damn good, to be fair. So do we have a 2-day closing today? We do actually, and this would be decent enough as well, back above about 47. It would actually look pretty damn good. So fair enough. Today's going to be a pretty damn important day. You don't get to say that too often, although that's always like a YouTube title because, fucking YouTube, right? But I think now we can get into the comments. I'm going to put it on over here onto Bitcoin. We'll go to a lower term time frame and watch the fucking crack trader time frame because it's fun. And let me just pop in over here and see what I can let's see what I can figure out. What's up, Mr. Spencer Smith? Good lord, your hair, sir. Jesus Christ, man. I know, it has a mind of its own, but that's why I love it, my friend. That's why I love it. What's up, Mr. BK? Okay, shit, I just missed it right there. Yeah, again, this is why it's gonna be really difficult. Okay, cool. We can definitely do Avalanche. I'm curious to see where this one is. We were looking for a bit of a pullback, albeit on a very strong chart at the end of last week, if memory serves me correctly. And did we get that? Yeah, we did get that, but this one, yeah, I'd say this one is looking a bit toppy here. All right, cool. Here we have Avalanche, symbol AVAX versus the dollar. And what do we have? Well, we have a little bit of a pullbacky area now, don't we? Multiple drives of bearish divergence, and we did call that out, I believe, on Friday, looking for a bit of a pullback from this region. And we got that over the weekend. Yes, correct down to the 21, which is fine, which is all good. And that is coming on declining volatility right here. But I am inclined to say that this one is starting to lose steam. Not necessarily for the long term. I mean, I do love a chart that looks like this, obviously. And I would be looking for new all-time highs coming into October if it does close anywhere above even $50 on I think it is Thursday here. But in the interim, are we more likely to pull back or not? Well, let's actually go down to the short-term time frames over here on the 4-hour. 4-hour is actually showing multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence right here, and I would be looking for short-term backup somewhere around about $73.50 or so. Bit of a range going on right now, but overall, I would feel quite comfortable in saying that, hey, if this thing does fail to, I mean, it's not going to be too helpful in this one, but if this one does fail to get back above about $76, probably within the next couple of days here, I would be looking for a deeper correction somewhere down around the low 50s if that does hold. For what it's worth right now, the buy daily still marching its way up. I mean, this is good overall. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm bearish on the long term here. I'm certainly not, but it is starting to show a lot of cracks on this one for the short and medium term. Anyways, daily soaks will actually be be popping back up if we do close above $75 today, which this one is clean $6 below, but that doesn't necessarily need to happen today for that one to look good. 12 hours going to be 71.5, and 4 hour, what are we looking like right here? 65 or so. So again, short term, yeah, very likely does pop back up. But again, assuming that essentially fails to get back above, especially $75 by end of day, I'd be looking for this one to range a little bit more and then very likely correct back down into the a little bit below $60 or so and set it up probably for a good October. Long-term targets though are still very much valid. I do believe here. I don't really have any reason to change that. But a correction between the 618 extension and the 414 right here is, long-term healthy, obviously. And long-term, I mean, probably October, maybe November, December, something like that. I would be looking for this one to get above $100. This is obviously, one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land as of this moment in time. So got to give it respect. Short-term, again, back up. If your daily does fail to get back above about $75, I would look for the next week or so to correct a little bit down, somewhere around mid to low $50. Hopefully that's helpful, and there you go for AVAX. All right, cool. Let's see what I can fish out over here now. Let's see who I've missed. Mr. Jarl Koshai says, TCAT daily weekly, please. Okay. TCAT, huh? This thing? Takun Art. All right, trades on ARC. I've never heard of it myself. Bad down. This one's coming back down to $5.50. Looks like trade's kind of like a shitcoin right there. You are in a range on the weekly, but short term it is very likely downside angled. Looking at something like this is what I'd be looking at, and I probably would be looking somewhere just below $6, between about 5.5 to 5.75. Below there would be terrible, and you probably. Well, actually, the long term isn't that bad, but I'd essentially be looking for a range here between about 11.5 and that mid $5 number. Probably going to go test the downside of it first, and then pop back up, and maybe has like a good end of year in this case. However, major failure, major fucking invalidation below about $5.50 on maybe even a daily. Would I say it on a daily? No, I'd say daily below 5.25, but weekly below $5.50. This one would look absolutely devastating, at least for right now, just short term down. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. And there you go. Let's see, 777s. What's up, 777s? Any thoughts on reserve rights? This is one that rings a bell from like way back when. Reserve rights. Yeah. This one was back in 2017. Shitcoin of a chart right here. Really unimpressive. I imagine it probably, do we have data for 2017? No. I really want to see where this one was in 2017. Sure. Yeah, Bittrex should have it. No, Bittrex does not have it. This is bizarre. I was expecting to see, some a little bit more convincing from there. Oh, I guess this is all we got, so I can't necessarily say that. But the weekly's in fucking free fall right now, man. Heavily bearish as long as you're below 3 and 375 cent, that is. I'd be looking for this one to come back down to 2.25 or so. Short term, does it pop back up to 3.3? Probably yes, but same thing as Bitcoin, just a lot more weaker on this one. As long as it's below this last little even 4 hour lower high at about 3.6 cent. I just look at any sort of short term upside move as just a short term move, very likely leading into more long term continuation of the downside. Back above that 3 spot, I think it was 3.5 cent or 3.6 cent region. I would kind of be looking at the same move on Bitcoin. You're probably going to see Bitcoin above $45,000 at that point, and you can see a rally back around about 4.1 or so. And I'd call a bear trap on this one back above about 4.3 cent. But until then, this is not a great chart right here. It's good. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it needs a very strong Bitcoin in order to kind of do anything worth talking about, in my opinion. Yeah, man. Hopefully that was helpful, but definitely a laggard, definitely relatively weak. What's up, Mr. Gemini Athlete? FTM 4 on 12 hour. Man, FTM is definitely getting a lot of love recently as well. Should I do a video on this one or not? Let's go check the chart first. People love bullish videos. They don't like bearish videos. Find that one out the hard way. Let's see, what do we have right here? Same sort of thing as Bitcoin, man. In this case, this one actually relatively simple. I don't know what that what that trend line's time frame was for. It looks like the 12 hour in this case. Again, bit of a range going on right here. That's gonna be the kind of the same thing on all these Sam coins. Let's see, what are we gonna be biased towards in this case? Because I'm not seeing anything too obvious. Let's see, 4 hour actually pop up as long as above about 120. So I probably would be looking for a test of the top side of the range first, somewhere around about 146 or so. Anywhere above the, what was it? So 25th of September's high, so Friday high, which is 137 or so. then yeah, I'd be looking for that extension to the top side of the range first. Let's see, what about, actually, let's go down to the 4 hour. Yeah, it actually does show a bit more signals testing the upside first. Of course, below about 112.5, that would be invalidated, and I'd be looking for a retest of your just below $1 lows first, and probably another bounce there. Watch Bitcoin for direction at the end of the day, though, because that's usually going to matter most. But this one is showing more upside signals than not, so I would be looking for a test of the upside of the range first, and then probably backs off from there. And then, you know, if Bitcoin pushes through, this one probably going to be one of the better actors, it looks like. This one actually is showing relative strength amongst, you know, most of the altcoins, well, I guess that we've seen today, but we haven't really seen too many, to be fair. So yeah, there you go, and hopefully that was helpful for Phantom, another Sam coin. Fuck, I lost my placement once again. Holy shit, how did I used to do this back in the day? What's up, Go Lucky? Could you look at Luna? Yeah, we can definitely do Luna. This one's always popular as well. Luna USD, and let's see where this one is. One of the more strong coins that we have seen in the past couple months, and you know, still holding it up around the top side of the range. Let's see. Let's actually record this one. Okay, cool. Let me just pick this up right here. Here we have Terra Luna, symbol LUNA, versus the dollar. And what do we have? We have this one yet again grinding up around the high. So it is relatively strong within the context of this market. Weekly actually closed relatively good as well. Any sort of a move down to 29.5 or 29.25, in my opinion, is an opportunity on this one. This one does look good actually, especially coming into October, not October closure, but October open, meaning September closure. Any sort of a closure, basically, you know, in the mid 30s or higher is going to look pretty damn good, probably for at least retesting of all-time highs in October, and probably making new all-time highs in October, maybe at latest November. This one does look good for what it's worth. Anyways, as far as the daily goes, what do we have right here? We do have, actually, this one's actually reclaimed all of its major movement averages and did bounce off perfectly of our level from, I believe it was last Friday or Thursday. Either which way, that does imply that we probably do test the top side of this range first. I don't necessarily know if it's ready to break out. However, I'd really be looking for BBWP to start to expand once again. And right now it is somewhat it's not necessarily trending down, but it is flat. So don't look at that as conclusive in and of itself. Let's go check out over here and see if there's any other, any other points of confluence, and then we can come up with some areas. Yeah, daily is going to be up as long as above about 29.67, so looking good right there. 4 hours going to be freshly crossing up as long as we're above about 35.57. Yeah, I'd be looking for this one to test the tops of the range first. Any sort of a closure above about $43, especially on a daily, but even on a 4 hour, could we use that as well? Probably yes. Maybe I make that like 43.5 instead. Then I would be looking for the next, I guess, melt up move on this one. This one's been, you know, a really good actor right here. Now, while I don't necessarily see too many bearish things about this one in particular, obviously Bitcoin is going to decide the direction for the majority of this market. If Bitcoin were to fail below, I think it was, 43 or 42,500, I would be looking for a test back down to the bottom side of the range first before anything else, which is $27. So the invalidation on this on a 4 hour would be back below 33.90 or so. And then yes, I'd be looking for it to fall over. But for right now, you know, hidden bullish evidence on the 4 hour. We do see that 4 hour jewel is in a bouncy territory. And this is looking like a corrective sideways move, which is good within the context of this one, as it's been, you know, just straight fucking up ever since realistically like late June right there. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Luna USD. Nice one, man. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Michael Lee, what's up, man? PPT. Okay. No time frame given, so who knows what the fuck I'm gonna do on this one. Let's see. I think you're probably talking about this. Yeah, this is definitely a 2017 shitcoin. Oh my fucking lord, it's a shit. Oh man, how could that happen? How could the government let that happen? That is insane. That is fucking insane right there. Holy shit, man. Holy fuck. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen to most of this market this week. Oh, man. My populist coins, my fucking populist coins have gotten shreked. Does Lexington have anything to say about that? No, he does not. Okay, we're not going through that right now. That the YouTubes do not like that. Yeah, that's bullish. That's really fucking bullish. Here's a bullish chart for you. Really fucking bullish right there. Wow, man. This one's going for the full retrace. We're going for the full retrace, baby. It is a full retrace time. Enjoy your fucking retraces. Anyways, let me just double check over here. Okay, we good? All right, let me pop back in over here. Excellent. And holy fuck, those comments are moving fast, baby. Fucking fast. Come and get it. Come and fucking get it on that one. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, terrible. Absolutely dog shit chart, man. Worst chart that we've seen today by far. Jack, what's up, Mr. Jack Assman? Yep, okay, Ethereum, Bitcoin, 4 hour. Yeah, this one's going to be a very interesting one to check out today as well. Okay, higher term time frame, still more or less like those. However, daily's actually good here. Daily's actually good, and with Ethereum and Bitcoin having a bullish bias, it has been historically unwise to be bearish on Bitcoin in my experience. Anyways, you're looking at a 4-round daily good, especially as long as it's above about 6.975. Satoshi's right there, hidden bullish divergence come off the last few lows. Daily Jewel also suggesting a little bit of upside here too. I want to see that supported by the DMI and volatility also expanding as well. If that happens, I'd be looking for a move back up to the top side of your median range, about 7.5 million Satoshis. That would look very, very good. 4-hour. A little bit short-term toppy, it looks like to me. Probably does play back down to 7 million even, but where would I invalidate this? Actually, this one's rather easy to invalidate. Anywhere below about 695 million Satoshis, I would be looking for this one to fall on over first and probably retest around the lows. And well, I'm not necessarily thinking that that's going to happen, but that would be my invalidation point for this one. Until then, short term probably plays a little bit of a downside move. Assuming that it holds there, yeah, I'd be looking for next move up, big move up actually too. Again, I like all higher timeframes on this one. However, if it did choose a downside route, this one's going to correct pretty heavily, all the way down to like 6 million Satoshis. Might even not be a correction at that point. It might just be a full on. Yeah, that would actually be a full-on failure on the monthly, but fair enough. For right now, I would be a little more biased towards an upside resolution on this one. It does show more good signs than not good, I'd say. Let's see, John Vachel, what's up, man? Sup, Original Simp, that's me. I'm the Simp Coin CEO, baby. No ETC today for me. I have an actual stock for you. Oh, beautiful. All right, some actual charts over here. Symbol NEX, okay, beautiful. Let's see, on the daily, weekly, monthly, looking at a position if it breaks 565. Interesting. All right, let's go check it out over here. So you're basically playing this breakout right here. Do we have a reversal in progress right now? Well, we do have a higher low right there, and we do have a higher low right there. So we got a couple of higher lows. Do we have a higher high? Not yet, but I'd say I don't really. Okay, I'm guessing 565 is probably relevant on a weekly. Yeah, I'd actually even play this one to the upside back above 540. This looks good. This is good, man. You see a bit of a W accumulation going on right here. So reaccumulation after a bit of a short-term reversal, short-term on like a daily and weekly, obviously. I'd probably be looking for this one to play back up to $7.5, $8 or so. This is good. Again, bullish, especially as long as you're above $4. So this one's rather easy to play. Monthly looks good to me as well. Some phantom divergence coming off the last low. Yeah. I think this one actually pulls through, even though long-term chart leaves a lot to be desired. But anywhere around 7.5, maybe $8 coming into end of year, probably where I'd be looking for on this one, barring a sort of nasty result this week for the infrastructure deal, as this one probably does move with it as well, I'm gonna guess. That's typically everything does now, doesn't it? All right, cool. Okay, so Mari says, I think Pelosi just delayed the infrastructure bill vote to Thursday. Fuck, okay, so we gotta wait all the way into... Of course, it's going to be fucking Thursday because that insider trading fuck is going to do it right on the quarterly goddamn closure when I'm fucking asleep. Oh, god damn it. Oh, motherfucker, man. They know exactly what they're doing, man. They know exactly. I mean, fucking, you can see Pelosi's trades or whatever the hell she's doing. Unbelievable that kind of shit goes on. Fucking unbelievable. But that's another topic for another video, perhaps, or maybe just not even mention it. Anyways, what else do we got? What's up, Mr. Amadeo Ciano? This baby is going to dump any divergences on Bitcoin monthly that you notice. Sir, is there any divergence on Bitcoin monthly? No, there's no divergence here at all on the Bitcoin monthly. In fact, there's literally nothing to be aware of as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we don't have hidden bullish evidence. We don't have bearish evidence. We have no divergence at all. I'm sure. Okay, I'm going to guess this is what you're probably referencing. You're probably going, Krown. We have divergence from your 2017 highs all the way to your March 21st highs. It's probably not going to work like that. The reason being because I'm going to guess that you're probably running a 14 period on your RSI. And if you're running a 14 period on your RSI, I've done studies on this, and about 32 periods after that is where it really starts to lose efficacy. Even after like 28 periods, it starts to lose a lot. But 32 is like the maximum. I can even put a 32 look back on this. Not on this. Where's my divergence? Where are you? Actually, we can do 32 right there. Do we have the bearish divergence still? No, we do not. So I'd say probably not. No. Yeah, sorry, man. I have to respectfully disagree with that. If you're looking at divergence that far back, it's very unlikely to work out. Or at least if it is going to work out, it's going to be a very muted result. And that probably would be good enough to get us back down to my targeted region of like 32 to 33,000 bucks, assuming that Bitcoin does break down. But right now, a lot's going to be running on this infrastructure deal, in my opinion. So In these sort of situations, you know, the market is pricing in again a good result. That means that we will dump fucking hard if it doesn't go through in the intended fashion. You know, that much is very clear. What's up, Mr. Andrew Mo? ALCX 4-hour and 5-day. Okay, ALCX. What could this be? Alchemix on FTX, Gemini, and Hong Kong Exchange. All right, we'll go to this one. Wow, we have another shitcoin. Oh my fucking lord, man! Hey, sir, what the goddamn fuck? Oh god! Oh god! Get this shitty chart out of my face! Fucking hell, man. Look, if Bitcoin chooses the upside route here and trades up to 45, I'd probably be looking for this one to 255. But an extremely weak chart. You don't have to buy bullshit like this, man. This is just fucking garbage. Like this is why crypto should be banned. Sorry. This is just an embarrassingly bad chart, man. This is the inverted chart, and I'd love to buy this shit. I'd absolutely love to buy this shit. You might get lucky with another move down to like another move up to like 280. I think at best this one goes back to like 330, assuming Bitcoin, you know, does perform the old bear trap right here. But that'd really imply like a very strong Bitcoin. This is just a god awful chart, man. A chart that only a mother could love. You know. Does it even increase the bounce here? I wouldn't even be looking at that as confirmed until you start to trade back above about 260 on a 4-hour. Don't even need to really wait for a closure right there. Just trading back above 260 would be good enough. And yeah, I'd be looking for a move up into the 300s. But long term, just terrible, man. Just God fucking damn it, man. I hate shitty charts. I hate shitty charts, man. Terrible fucking chart. Just fucking awful. 5-day. Again, you might get another bounce here, man, but this thing is just so weak. It's I'm guessing this is maybe like a reward token or something, because it seems like it only gets sold into heavy distribution going on right there. Getting distributed on, sir. One of my work colleagues when I was in Chicago would say, he was a black guy, by the way. He was of African American descent, and he'd say, and I'm not going to say the word here, but he'd say, "It's distribution, N-word." He just starts fucking shouting that, and I always laugh. I thought it was hilarious, man. We had some really good conversations, funny as fuck. It's distribution, N-word. It is distribution, N-word. However, you might get lucky with another move back up to $300 or so. I don't think that I'm going to guess that you probably can't short this thing either. What's up, Mr. Winning Choice 87? Hello, Krown, sir. Keep your hair authentic the way it is. Well, that's easy enough to do. Can you please look at COTI USD on the daily and weekly? Sure. Just closed above the weekly all-time high. Okay, all right, let's check it out. I remember this one was doing really, really well the last couple of weeks, so let's do a bit of a follow-up on this one. Okay, interesting. Yeah, weekly strong as fuck, man. Here we go. Nice and easy, baby. Nice and fucking easy. Here we have COTI, symbol COTI versus the dollar. And I want to follow up on this one from last week. This one got the weekly closure that we were looking for. I do think that there could be an ever so slight downside move, somewhere down around about 45 to 46 cents. But overall, this is a very strong chart. One of the best charts that we've seen today. Certainly, closing on new all-time highs is never a bad thing in my book. And I would be looking for this one to continue probably until October or so. If Bitcoin were to come down here, I imagine this one probably comes down as well. But again, that would probably be your move to about 44, 45 cents or so. And I'd be looking for another bounce around there into your higher low fashion. Daily Jewel still suggesting some upside. Daily RSI just trending around the bullish control zone, which is good. And BBWP is actually still in an expansive posturing here. I judge that by the moving average on this one. And the trend is obviously continuation. So long-term, very, very good. See what momentum also to say. And then we'll go through the short-term timeframes and come up with some invalidation points perhaps. 4 hours going to actually be popping back up with a closure above 56 cents, which we're actually not above right now. So might range a little bit more here. 48 cents on the daily, and where are we on the weekly? Weekly's up as long as above 48 as well. So 48 cents going to be a big one for the daily, obviously. Or sorry, was it 48 cents or 38 cents? 48 cents actually on the weekly, and daily says 48 cents as well. Interesting. So I suppose I would say if this one does fail to hold 48 cents today, I probably would be looking for that correction down first. However, short-term timeframes, what are we looking like right here? Not really getting too much from this. If anything, I'd probably be, I'd say the same thing as before. Probably looking for bounces at about 46 or 45 cents or so. And continuation implied back above about 60 to 60 and a half cent. That is 60 and a half cent. I also see that you mentioned the weekly Challenger bands are working well for this one as well. And now that I realize it, quarterly closure coming up on Thursday. If this thing closes anywhere above 50 cents, I'd be looking for new all-time highs coming into end of year, and not just new all-time highs, but probably massively new all-time highs in this case. Monthly is going to have a chance to do the same thing above 45 cent or so. A lot of things pivoted at 45 cent, and weekly, as you correctly analyzed, is trending above the top side trend. I'd be looking for continuation probably even this week. Any sort of short-term downside move to mid 40s is completely fine. That'd be my invalidation point. Closing a 4-hour dildo below about 45.5 cent. Then yeah, I'd be looking for a correction down south first. That probably implies Bitcoin actually breaks down, but this one on its own very, 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 very strong. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for symbol COTI. Nice. Let's see. Mr. Edward Preston Arco, what's up, man? Can you take a look at Cyrus USD? Okay. Another one that I'm not too familiar with. I don't think I've ever seen this one. Not a very interesting chart. I mean, it hasn't really been around. It's been around for like a little bit over a month now. There's not really much to be looking at on a daily here, at least from my personal strategies. So I don't really have anything to add on to this one. We had some bullish evidence come off the last 4-hour low. That's already played out, I'd say. Other than that, I don't really think that this is too helpful. I understand that, but I can't really make too much out of a daily when you got a fucking month and a half. I need, if you're going to be looking at a daily, I need years. So this one does not really fit the bill for that. What I would say though is on the 4-hour right here, any sort of a closure back up about 80 cents, I would look for this one to go on a bit of a run, maybe even all the way to $1. But it's just easier to watch Bitcoin in these cases. Whatever direction Bitcoin's going to choose, this one's going to follow. However, if Bitcoin does choose a downside, this one is operating a bit more relatively weak. And I probably would be looking for a big down to gobbling down at like half a buck or so. And I'd be looking at that as confirmed with any sort of a 4-hour dildo closure below 68 cent. Until then, just easier to watch Bitcoin in my opinion. Oh, what's up, Mr. Poncho? Yeah, RSR is not from 2017. Interesting. Okay, so I must be thinking of some different. Yeah, I lost my placement once again. Motherfucker. Let's see. Okay, found it. Mr. Super. How you doing, man? Hope you had a great weekend as well, sir. Can you look at Dydx, Bitcoin 1 hour and 4 hour? Okay, I know that this one's getting a lot of. Yeah, okay, that is correct. And you're looking at it versus Bitcoin. I know this one's getting a lot of interest recently just because there's some to do with like the new China banning or whatever the fuck. And apparently the whole narrative of the market is that everyone's going to go into this, which definitely makes sense. I don't know the underlying dynamics of this one. Anyways, hourly, are we losing some steam right here? It does look like so. I'd probably be looking for next move down to about 43,500, 43,600 or so on the hourly. 4 hour is still long-term. I mean, long-term, as long as you can get for a chart that's been around for literally less than a month, only like a few weeks right here, it's still okay. Any corrections down to like 40,000 Satoshis would look pretty damn good to me. Daily, there's not really a daily, but it's just continuation. This is good for what it's worth. I just don't really have too much to make out of this. Maybe I do a video on this one just because there is a lot of interest in this one as well right now. Here we have Dydx versus Bitcoin. This one's getting a lot of love recently because there's some interpretations that with China banning whatever the fuck cryptos, that this one's going to be the main beneficiary of that. And fair enough, it does have a pretty damn good chart right here. The problem is we don't really have too much price action history. Daily is still continuation, and we could come up with some areas of interest for this one. I wouldn't necessarily say long term, but coming up out of this region, this one actually did close above the 1.618 already, so that is good. Probably looking for next move up somewhere around about 50,000 to 55,000 Satoshis in this case. 4 hour, I would invalidate that with a move back down below about 40,000 Satoshis on a closing basis. Hourly is a little bit short-term downside angled. I'd be looking for a move very short-term to 43,500 or so, or 43 even, and probably a bounce there if this one does want to continue. I'm just curious what this is going to look like. Okay, that's not helpful at all. 5-day, looking pretty damn good as well, coming into closure tonight. Again, I wouldn't really make too much off of this, being that it is a super new chart, but at least for the history that we do have, the short term is very, very good. Actually, to see it over here, I kind of want to see it versus the dollar as well. Okay, that's not helpful. There we go. Yeah, short term, very, very short term that is, on an hourly, a little bit corrective. If you're looking at it versus the dollar, maybe right back down somewhere around about $20 even or so. Here's what it's gonna wait to. And let's just see. Yeah, 5 days still pretty damn good right here as well. Yeah, any sort of a closure above about 19 to $20, especially today, is going to look really, really good coming into early October. 4 hour, yeah, pretty much the same right here. I wouldn't really trust BBWP at this point because it's too new. Hourly is a little bit more corrective. Yeah, somewhere back down around about $19. Look for a higher low. If that fails, $17.75 to $17.50, and then watch the daily closure. And that's what I'd say about that. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. All right, cool. Let's see. Nick B33 says, "How's Polkadot looking, please, Mr. Man?" I am Mr. Man. Mr. Man. Mr. Man. That's fucking right, man. How dare you? How fucking dare you? How dare you assume? How dare you fucking assume that? Disgusting. Jesus fucking Christ. Where are you from? The fucking Stone Age? Disgusting, man. Get with the times. Get with the times, sir. Looking okay right here, actually, for the short term. Long term, definitely weak, though. Definitely weak on this one. Now, I would call this a bear trap, bear trap completion back above about 33.5 bucks. Probably going to see Bitcoin above at least 45 at that point, probably 47 or so. If that happens, this one's very likely going to retest the highs, 37.5 to 38 bucks, and probably continue into early October. But for right now, not a humongous fan of this chart on the long-term time frames. Oh, I guess the weekly isn't too bad. If Bitcoin does dump out, though, I'd be looking for this one to come all the way back down somewhere around 16.5 to 17 bucks or so. Yeah, I mean, daily, I suppose that you could use this area still, 26 bucks. As long as you're above there, you can play the hopium a little bit. But be aware where your risk is. I'm not a humongous fan of what's going on right there, but back below about 26 bucks, especially on a 12-hour closure, and by extension a daily closure as well. That's where I'd start to call this one an actual breakdown. I'd be looking for retest down to like 21 3/4, probably another bounce there, and then continuation lower over the next couple weeks. Until that happens, though, easy to watch Bitcoin as usual. Let's see. Okay, Crookface, what's up, man? NET on the hourly, sir. Promise you no cut hair. Oh, there can't be any promises, sir. No, it's I can just wear a hat. Let's see. I actually wear my own hats nowadays. I wear my own fucking branded hats and my own sweatshirt, and I actually really like it. It's actually really nice. I'm not sure what to make out of this. This is a weird weekly closure there. Monthly still okay. You're looking at an hourly. All right, so that probably is gonna make it a little bit more easy. Just continuation of trend right here. Maybe another short-term downside move to about 127 or so, but I like the rising bottoms coming in from there. Momentum oscillators are suggesting what? Momentum oscillators are suggesting that you're in a bouncy area, but I do think it has one more swipe of the current lows at about a 128 or so, and then probably bounces from there, and then come back to it after that. Any bounce, however, that fails to get back above about 133.5, I probably would be looking at this one to reverse on the daily, but you're not really asking about the daily, so maybe you just don't give a fuck. There's multiple drives of bearish evidence come off those highs. Higher term timeframes. I'm not so confident on the higher term timeframes here, but that's kind of where I'd be looking at for the time being. Oversold. Buy that shit. What's up, Dan Dea? Yeah, man. Everything's good, sir. Can we look at an overview of Ethereum? Yes, absolutely. All right, let's go check it out over here. All right, and actually, bi-weekly closure, not as bad as what I would have been looking for. All right, let's do an overview on Ethereum. Here we have Ethereum symbol ETH versus the dollar, and of course, it goes without saying that Bitcoin's probably gonna run the biases here, and it's probably easy to watch Bitcoin back above 45,000 bucks. This one probably does put in a move somewhere around about 34 to 34.50 or so. And by extension, Bitcoin's probably gonna be run off traditional marks, and traditional marks gonna be by extension run off by whatever the fucking Fed's doing as usual. Anyway, so with that said, if we go down to the lower term timeframes right here, we do see that this one is gonna have a chance to close on new highs anywhere above 3180 on a 4-hour delta closure. I would be looking for an extension all the way back up and play out that move somewhere between about 3350 to 3450 actually. Do we have a bit of a formation going on right here? Not necessarily, no. We got a bit of a BART, to be fair, but there's no measure moves to be made off of BART. By the way, 4-hour Joule got the lows really fucking well in this one, which I did not call out on both Bitcoin and Ethereum right there. And volatility is starting to rise alongside, what does seem to be a bit of a short-term time frame reversal. Go check out momentum oscillators over here and see if they agree or see if they don't agree. And let's see, 4 hours is going to be up as long as above 29.30, looking rather likely right now. Hourly is going to be up if we do close above 31.65, and 12-hour is going to be freshly actually crossing up as long as above about 28, and daily is going to be freshly up as long as above 29.75. A lot of things kind of pinned around that region, and I would say that I am essentially short-term. I probably would be looking for a bullish resolution of this, or at least I would invalidate this more importantly with any sort of a 4-hour closure below about 3,000 bucks right here. Below there, I would be looking for this one to not just fail this current area and put another lower high. I'd be looking for this one to retest the lows after that, somewhere around about 2,800, probably another small bounce there, and then very likely continuation, you know, to, well, the weekly targets after that. In this case, somewhere, should I even say it, into the mid 2000s. However, you know, again, a lot is going to be pinned around what traditional markets do this week. And obviously the quarterly is coming up on Thursday as well. And for right now, how's Ethereum looking like on the quarterly? Looking pretty damn good, actually. Any sort of a closure, especially, you know, here or higher, or even just above 3,000 bucks, going to look pretty damn good coming into end of year. And also, no, sorry, the 6 month is not closing. What about the 5 day? 5 days, okay. Not really getting too much from that. Daily does suggest a little bit of upside here as well, actually. So I do think that boo laws do have a chance here, but I would not be calling a bear trap on this one and saying that, like, you know, they're out of the woods. I hate that term, but you know, I wouldn't be saying that this one's ready to pretty much go back to prior all-time highs and probably make new all-time highs in October, as long as you're below, especially about 3,600 or so. So short term, you can see how that can bleed in, and it is more upside angled right here, absolutely. Could I maybe make an assessment earlier than that? You know, again, just easy to watch Bitcoin. You know, go over here, and if Bitcoin starts to get back above about 47.5 to 48,000 bucks, you're probably going to see Ethereum pull through, and you can start to look for moves back around the prior highs of this current rally, which was just shy of 4,000 bucks. You know, sometime around end of week, and I imagine that's probably when we do see a lot of this price action postulated around. So hopefully that was helpful on Ethereum. Again, invalidation is very cleanly and obviously below about 3,000 bucks on a 4-hour closure below there. I think hopium is over for the time being, at least for the next few weeks, and we go much lower into the mid to low $2,000 territory. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Ethereum. All right, cool. Let's see. What's up, Mr. Mike Bolanos? Pop Network. Okay. All right. This is definitely a new one for me. It's not coming up on TradingView, unless if it's something else. Let me type it in. No, it does not seem to be on TradingView, so I'm going to guess that it's very, very new. Very, very new. Unless if it's a stock, but I'm not seeing Pop Network as a stock pop up either. So I'm inclined to say that it's probably a crypto, and it's probably not on TradingView. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't look at it, and I do apologize about that, man. I know that that's annoying. Yeah, apparently, I'm getting corrected a lot on that reserve rights. It's not that old. So I'm thinking of something else from 2017. That was, I believe it had the same ticker, RSR. I can almost swear it had the same ticker as that. Arif 5665 says, please take a look at Elrond EGLD. Sure. This one I remember having a pretty good last couple weeks as well. Let's see if it's still holding it up. And yeah, actually pretty good here. Actually pretty damn good, in fact. All right, here we have Elrond, symbol EGLD, and we have what seems to be another higher low on the 4-hour right here. This one's been acting pretty damn well over the last couple of weeks, which we've been covering, and I'll be looking for very likely another test up short term, somewhere around about 240, maybe 245 or so. Let's see what the daily looks like for right now. Just a general uptrend, very, very nice. I would have an invalidation on this below the last low on the 4-hour, which is on a tick basis. What is it, like? Basically 218. You know, if you do take out that area to the downside, I'd probably imagine Bitcoin turns back down below about 43.5 at that point. I'd be looking for this one to correct all the way back down to 185 to 190 first before anything else. But for right now, you know, this one is showing some decent signals, I suppose. Daily Jewel's back to being upside angled, but is it supported by DMI? No, which is not a conclusive signal. 5-day closing today. What are we looking like? Okay, I don't really have any major issue with this. I know that there's some bearish evidence right there, but that's already played out down to the 21. I mean, that was a pretty decent size move to be for, yeah, 45% move. I think it's safe to say that one's played out. Let's go over here and see what momentum also to say, and if they agree with those biases. Daily is going to be postured up as long as above 223 on closing. 12 hour is going to be up above 235, 236 region. 4-hour is going to be up as long as above 217, and hourly is going to be up as long as above 228. So I would be more bullishly biased on this one. Resolution on the shorter term timeframes, which will bleed into the higher term timeframes back above about 234.5, and I would be looking for a move back to the top side of the prior short term range, somewhere around about 245 to 250, and then very likely continuation from there. This one's strong. This one's certainly very strong compared to a lot of things that we've seen today, or just in general within the market. I mean, this is a rather impressive chart. Of course, we got the monthly and quarterly closure coming up. Any sort of a closure basically above 220 to 230 is going to look really, really good coming into October, November. You know, could we come up with some areas of interest long term? Perhaps, or I guess I've already done it. I've already hit the 281, so I guess like very long term coming into end of year, assuming that the monthly and quarterly closure is good. Might even be looking at like, I'm not going to say those numbers, but they are big numbers compared to where it's at right now. Again, invalidation, very important on this one. Back below 180 on a daily, I would say that all of that gets invalidated and you're going to be looking at big bad moves to the downside first before anything else. Until then, acts very, very well. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Elrond. Too many goddamn lines on this chart. There we go. All right, cool. Let's see. What's up? What's up, Shelly? Seller. Okay, Seller. You have a great weekend as well, sir. Or sorry, ma'am. Yes. Or whichever one that you want. Whichever one that you want. Looking pretty good here, actually. Another really, really impressive chart. So we do see several charts. Wow, this one's actually looking really fucking phenomenal. Let me see how many videos I've recorded already, because it might be a convoluted day. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we could do this one as well. This one's rather easy. Here we have seller, symbol CELR versus the dollar, and this one closing on new all-time highs for the weekly. That's always going to be good and looked very, very highly upon by myself. And I would be looking for generally higher coming into early October, it looks like. Now let's come down to the lower term timeframes, come up with some areas of interest here that would invalidate that. On a 4 hour below about 13.5 cents, I would invalidate that, looking for a correction first, back down just below 10 cents to like 9.25. And still long term, it actually looked pretty damn good right there. But keep in mind, monthly closure coming up on Thursday. Any sort of closure above 11 cents, not only will it be a new all-time high on a monthly closing basis, but I'd be looking for higher highs. Probably October, maybe November on this one. It looked very, very good. Going back on over to the daily over here, this one's actually again among the strongest ones that we've seen today. I do want to see what it looks like from momentum oscillators, and I think we already kind of got an invalidation, but where to say right here, yeah, 4 hours down as long as below 19 cents, but I am getting an initial signal over here on my experimental indicator, which is saying probably does push its way up here. Daily's up as long as above 16 cents, looking good there. 12 hour is up as long as above about 18 cents. So it essentially is saying that if you are going to be bullish in this one, it actually continues from here, like today, or very likely today. And by the way, we'll even have some hidden bullish evidence on 4 hour RSI if it does put in a low right here, which will be confirmed with the 4 hour closure above 18 cents, coming in about 1 hour and 51 minutes and 53 seconds if that happens. Then I'd be looking for continuation to, well, new highs in this case. If not, I'd be looking for a correction back down to 13.5 cent, or yeah, about 13 to 13.5 cent closures below there. I'd be looking for a deeper drive down to like 9.25. We do have some bearish signals on this one, but it is not supported by DMI on the 4 hour RSI. And if we do get hidden bullish evidence right here, I'd say that that's going to supersede that, and at the very least retarget a move back up to 19 cents, see where things close at that point, and then very likely extend those targets into October. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful on CELR. Nice one, man. Okay, cool. All right, let's. Oh, I'm gonna lose my once again. Okay, back up. Hopefully I didn't miss too much there. Okay, that. We have that. There we go. So what's up, Simply Gains? Accumulation on Sushi BTC on the 3-day, 2100 to 1800 strat hodl. Okay, let's see. Sushi. Okay, we'll go to Binance. You're looking at Bitcoin pairing. Okay, got it. Is there accumulation going on in this one? This is just a sloppy chart. I don't actually have too much to make out of a chart like this. And I'm not going to be able to tell you anything that I think you probably don't already know for yourself. Obviously below like 2200 Satoshis bad. This one's going to break down. Obviously back above about 3100 Satoshis very good. I agree with your would I agree with what you're looking at? Actually, I've actually deleted my 3-day chart just because I don't think it's working all that well. The 2-day and 5-day seem to work a lot better. I'm not getting too much from this. I'm going to go to the US dollar pairing because this one should naturally look good if that one's going to be good. Okay, 2-day is closing tonight, as is the 5-day. So I'm not getting too much from this. Daily, again, it's very difficult to love as long as you're below about 1275 or so. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one. Weekly, I should have had a pretty good move back up. I'm not getting too much from this. Before I'm just working on lower highs. Do I think that it's accumulation? I think it's going to be easy to watch Bitcoin is what I think right here. And I wouldn't be bullish on this thing, especially as long as you're below 12 bucks on a 4 hour. And I would say that this one's not ready to do anything of particular interest to the upside as long as it's below about 14 bucks. Is it accumulating? I don't know. Yeah, a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer on this one. We don't have enough history here, really, in my opinion. Yeah, man. Again, I apologize. I know that that's not too helpful, but what I can say is I'll just not be bullish on this as long as you're below about 1440. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin. And then obviously back down below about $10. This one's going to fall apart, it looks like. But that's why I'm kind of holding off on saying that this is accumulation or not, because this one could very easily get a test back down to like $7 before anything else. So what the monthly looks like again. Yeah, this is just an unhelpful chart here. If anything, I mean, it'd be long-term good. Weeklies or bi-weeklies okay. If you know, bi-weekly actually looks okay. You could actually play the last bi-weekly closure as a doji doodle right there. Pretty damn simple on that one. So I figured you probably already know how to do that, and that would kind of play into the earlier analysis anyway. So hopefully that was in some way helpful, sir. Cool. What's up, Mr. Aurora? Bruh, KSM 1 hour on FTX. Okay. KSM's used to be popular, not so much anymore though. I haven't heard too much about it in the last few months here. You're looking at a what? An hourly. Okay, an hourly. Hourly's good. Hourly's good. Short term, continue this move up to 245 or so, maybe even as much as 250. Anywhere between, or sorry, not 250, but 345 to 350 or so. I would look for a big leg up, however, back above about 360, especially 365 on an hourly closure. Extend targets significantly up to 380 to 385 range. But for right now, still operating on lower highs right here. Again, just easier to watch Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin does in this case. Or a 4-hour closure above about 350 or so would look pretty damn good. But for right now, just short term up, and I do think that this one will continue to 350 or so. The question is, does it close above there or not? If it does, extend targets. 4-hour Joule did get a really good signal right here actually. So that would actually look really fucking good. In fact, back above 360, I think it was earlier. I know that I'm using a 4-hour right now, and you're asking about an hourly, but I'd be looking for a big markup at that point. That'd be, essentially alongside Bitcoin, probably back above about $45,000. Looking somewhere maybe just shy of $400 in this case. What does the weekly look like on this one? Weekly looks shitty as fuck, man. Weekly makes me think that we come back down to 225 overall. So where'd my invalidation be? Invalidation's back down below 320 on a tick. Below there, I'm bearish, and I'm looking for that move to play out probably in the next week or two. Be very nasty. That'd be Bitcoin back below, I think it was 43 or so. Let me double check. Where was Bitcoin's area? Yeah, 43. 43 is my pivot right there. Hey, what's up, Mr. King Cosmic? I hope you have a good week as well, sir. Yes, we can look at exactly what I know you want to look at. You don't even need to say it, baby. SPY, let's go check it out. Again, it's certainly pricing in a good result from this infrastructure deal, which apparently has been moved to Thursday. So I imagine markets can kind of, just float up here into that. And then, assuming that the result is good, we'll see a continuation. If the result is bad, this is going to be a very nasty and red October. Again, monthly looks certainly under pressure here, you could say. Anyways, I know that you care about the lower term time frames on this one, and it's good. Short term, I'd be looking for extension all the way up to 44.85, maybe 44.90 or so. Daily, I know that you like to look at as well. Any sort of a closure above 44.75 today, I'd be looking for a move back above 45 to 10 or so first before anything else, and then come back to it probably tomorrow or the next day. Very interesting chart right here though. And daily RSI is good, daily Joule is good, daily BBWP is more corrective than anything else. And I do put a lot of weight on that. So, at least short term, I'd give it a chance to go back up here and then come back to it after that. Let me take a sip of this water, man. I'm damn thirsty right now. My throat's starting to fail me. Oh, there we go. All right, what's up, Mr. BG? LYXE USD daily weekly. Okay. LYXE. Right. Luxo, my dicko. Pretty good. Daily's continuation, weekly's continuation, 5 days closing today, and that is continuation as well. I think we have some continuation, sir. We have continuation, N-word. God damn it, I need to not say that. Anyways, yeah, I'd probably be looking for a move up towards like 35.5, maybe $40 or so for the next couple weeks here. This one's good. Very good. Invalidation, very simply put, back down below about $20. But hidden bullish evidence on the last daily low right there. Volatility is starting to turn up once again. Momentum oscillators are bullish, trend is bullish, and volatility is also expanding. I like it, man. I like it. Again, invalidation below about 20 bucks, but very, very good right there. Among some of the best charts that we've seen today, in fact. What's up, Mr. Spencer Smith? My portfolio is green. Leveraged calls on your hair, dude. Also, the touch of gray beard. They're very suave. That's right, man. I'm rocking the old silver, the silver derp. Yeah, the silver fucking derp, huh? Zen daily, weekly. How far down do we go? Well, I mean, it always depends what Bitcoin does, right? But let's say let's just do a hypothetical. What if Bitcoin breaks down here? Where would I be looking for this one? Well, and this one can get absolutely fucking peacocked. 41 bucks would be my next balance area, but I do not think things would bottom there. I think this one, you know, if Bitcoin broke down, if you're asking a hypothetical on this one, and we're assuming that Bitcoin breaks back down on a weekly basis, I'd be looking for this one to work its way back down to like 30, somewhere between about 25 and 30 overall. But for right now, you know, would I even be looking at that? I mean, it's certainly weak right here, man. It's certainly weak. Hard chart to love, especially as long as it's below about 81.5. Easy to watch Bitcoin in this case. You know, you do have some bullish evidence come off the last 4 hours, so I'd probably be looking for a short-term move back to 75.30, but that doesn't really do anything for the greater trend. Even on a 4 hour, it's kind of hard to love as long as you're below about 82 bucks. So I'll be cognizant of that. But for right now, short-term up, and then pray to Bula Jesus this thing gets back above essentially like 80 bucks by end of. Doesn't need to necessarily be end of day today, but you know, probably today, tomorrow. Otherwise, any sort of weakness on Bitcoin, you already know what I'm gonna say about this one. It's not gonna be perceived too well by this highly esteemed piece of technology. Man, I always think of that guy in the MISC bodybuilding section who went all in on this thing. I think he borrowed money, he leveraged it up back in 2017. I wonder if he survived this, because he was ride or die with this thing, and it ended up making new all-time highs this past cycle, which is a good sign, very good sign. But man, I wonder if that guy lived through. I wonder if he held through all of this. I wonder when those loans came up. Oh well. What's up, John Jiggy Pop, aka John Dude? John Dude, what's up, man? 1 and 2 as well. Much love, sir. Can you please look at Meta Hero on the daily and weekly? Okay, I'm not familiar with this one, so I'm just going to type it in here. It should pop up if TradingView has it. But yeah, it looks like TradingView does not have it. So I'm guessing this is like a really new thing, or it's very obscure. But for whatever it's worth, it's not on TradingView. Maybe I just try this really quickly. No, that's not going to be it. Maybe try Meta, but I don't think that's it is. Or try this. Yeah, this is not it. These are not it. Meta Universe, Meta Hero. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere here, man. Unfortunately, I'm limited by what TradingView has, and it looks like unless you're talking about Metadium, then it's probably not it, or Meta Universe. So apologies on that, man. I can look at Pancake Swap instead, though. That'd be a lot easier, because I know that it's certainly on TradingView. But we'll be on Binance soon, allegedly. Oh, the Hopium drums once again. It's like we're getting listed on an exchange. Definitely going up. I mean, it does go up into those events, but it's usually a sell the event. I mean, because, you know, why do you put someone on an exchange? Because you want to accumulate more of it, right? Right? You do that on exchanges, right? You send your coins to exchanges so that you can just buy more of them. That's exactly right. Cake, bad. You know, I think any sort of a move back up to 21 bucks is again, it depends what Bitcoin does, but, and I do think this one could very easily get to like 20 and a half bucks, but hard chart to love here on the higher term time frames. Again, if Bitcoin pulls through, this thing's going to pull through as well. We do, I mean, if you do want a little bit of hopium, we got a falling channel right here. Unlike this, it's not perfect, but you know, that's why it's hopium, man, because it's not fucking perfect. And you would be looking for a bottom on the 200 right there as well, which is a good sign. And you could target the prior highs if it does break back above the 382 right here at 2180 or so. I would say that this one actually has a chance with a daily closure, especially today, back above 20 and a half bucks. That'd look okay. Going to salvage itself for a little bit longer. Until then, though, man, any sort of weakness in Bitcoin, this thing is going to get fucking wrecked. But short term, yes, up 20 and a half, 20 to maybe 20 and a half, and then kind of judge your areas from there. Invalidation, obviously, and very heavily bearish, very fucking heavily bearish. If this thing does come back down below, especially 18 and a half, that would look very, 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 very bad here. Yeah, very fucking bad. But at least for now, you can have a little bit of hopium, I suppose. And just hope that Bitcoin pulls through, because if Bitcoin does, this one very likely does as well. Okay, what's up, Andrew Mo? Economy. What time frame should I ask for? October to November prediction. There is no such thing as predictions, sir. There's only statistics. It's oh, there's only statistics really, and setups. Is there a prediction? Oh man, this is actually pretty good. October, November. I'd probably be looking for this one up around 0.7%. This is good. Was this it? Economy? Why is it? Okay, well, whatever. When I typed in economy, this is what popped up. So I'm guessing this is what it is. It's gone through some accumulation over the past few months here from May to September. It actually acts pretty damn well, all things considered. I don't really have a reason to be bearish on it, especially as long as you're above basically 0.5 cent. Below 0.5 cent, yeah, I'd be super fucking bearish on this one, looking for moves back down to 0.4 cents. But for right now, give it a chance. Short term, back up to 0.6 cents. Very likely extends. Around October, November, assuming Bitcoin salvages itself here somewhere around like 7 to 7.5 cents. It's actually okay. What's up, Mr. Kendrick? I see you. I see the Dominican, sir. They're back. Fucking nice. All good, man. So yeah, okay. So nice. What did you do on the Argo? Trading both Nasdaq, Q, and OTC. Thoughts on FET USD daily on CZ for history. Entered position at 67 cents. Okay. CZ under the gun yet again. I think Binance is having like litigations into every major country now. In what time frame? Daily, okay. Daily, and you're looking at history. Okay, 67. You entered 67 cent on the drop, so you have a really good position. You have a very easy to manage position. As long as this thing's above 75.5 cent, I don't have any real reason to think that that's bad. One's okay right here, but again, invalidation below about 76 cent. Anywhere below there, I'd be looking for pretty much a retest around your entry and probably fails after that. I mean, this is actually pretty good for the long term. I mean, this is probably fine. It's just illiquid, I imagine. Back above, not yesterday's, but the 25th of September high, I'd be looking for extension all the way up to like 50, or sorry, just shy of $1 right there. And this one probably continues into October, November. Again, a nasty wick right here, but any sort of especially any sort of a Thursday closure above about 85, 90 cents, I'd be looking for new, or at least, I don't know about new highs, but I'd be looking for this one to continue into October. You're looking for 120, so you're basically trying to sell this wick over here. I mean, I think if you get back to 120, you're going to go eventually higher, but again, you have your strategy. You got a phenomenal fucking entry. Fucking textbook buying the 55 right there, and you are still within the context of an uptrend, so that is good. It's just I would invalidate that below about 76 cent, and fair enough. I think that's about it. Again, if this thing goes back above 95 cents, I don't think it's just going to go to like 120. I think it goes higher, but it depends how long you want to wait on that. There is an opportunity cost, obviously, with these things, and again, invalidation below about 76 cent. So cool. What's up, Mr. Winnie Choice? Thanks for that COT USD insight. No problem, man. Didn't look at quarterly closure myself until you pulled it out. Looks amazing. Looks very, very good. Yes, absolutely. Any moon targets if we close above 50 cent? Let's go back to it and see. Don't think I did any like projections on this one. Let's see. Okay. Well, let's try. We can definitely do some right here. I mean, it's pretty simple. Oh, I guess I've already done it. All right, nice one. So moon targets would be just shy of $1 long term, and that'd probably, like when I say long term on something like this, you're probably looking end of year, somewhere between about 85 to almost $1 would look pretty damn good. Again, assuming that closure is met, but for right now, looking like one of the strongest ones, absolutely. Above 50 cents, yeah. Or is that where it is? Yeah, 50 cents would do it for me. What's up, Mr. Tokyo Channel? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you too, sir. Could you take a look at USD versus yen midterm? Sure. Oh, and we got some Japanese characters as well. Man, they look so exotic. Okay, dollar yen. Yes, let's look at some forex, man. I look at more forex and more stocks, honestly. Good. I'm still bullish on this one. I've been bullish on this one for a while, and I will continue to be bullish on this one. Weekly golden cross right here, consolidating within the context of an ascending triangle. I don't know if it's necessarily like ready to break out this month or next month, but well, maybe next month. I mean, this is about to get a silver cross in the monthly as well. Very, very bullish as long as you're above about 109 and 109 and a quarter. Be very bullish on this one. Monthly RSI is consolidating around the bullish control zone. Good. Monthly BBWP is expanding from literal 0 percentile reads, which this thing, I mean, I would trust. It does have enough history at this point. Long term, I'm still looking 114, somewhere between there, and 116 and a half. Okay, medium term. All right, so medium term for this, I'd still say a daily, still ranging on a daily to be fair. Probably gets one more test up to about like 111 or so. I don't think it's ready just yet, however. Well, can I be wrong on that? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, BBWP is expanding from a 0 percentile. Yeah, I guess actually would be relevant to maybe be looking for a break here. I'd say that's confirmed with the daily above about 111 and 150. And I'd be looking for extension towards the next major region of about 112 and a half, maybe even as much as 113 and a half. Depends what time frame you're looking at, but I really like the higher term time frames there. It's just they're going to take a long time. What's up, KV Verbsmith? Yeah, looks like a Krown. Nice. Well, fair enough. Mind checking QNT on the daily and weekly. Hey, what's up, Chris K? I see you over there, man. I see you, sir. QNT. Okay, Quant. All right. Ooh, losing its luster right there. You're looking at a daily and weekly. Sorry, there's definitely a chart that has way more history than this. Yeah, here we go. Okay, that's what I thought. That extension is no longer relevant, obviously. Yeah, short term, I do like this one back above about 240, and very short term, I do think it's going to test around like 315. 4-hour Joule and 4-hour RSI are suggesting a little bit of short term up, but that's not what you're asking about. You're asking about daily and weekly. Daily is a bit of a range until you get back above about 338 or below about 261. I don't really see it resolved, but I do expect that this one tests the tops of the range first, 335. Closure above there, I'd be looking for a retest of all-time highs. I think it's all-time highs. Yeah, all-time highs in October. Weekly, not great. Not great on the weekly, man. If anything, the weekly is saying that we probably do test short-term up and then close down. Again, going to be easier to watch Bitcoin here, but where would I invalidate this on a short-term time frame? Actually, very easy on this one. Back down below 290, and yeah, I'd be looking for this one to fall over first to the daily targets, and actually it's going to be a weekly target as well, somewhere down around about 250. Probably another bounce there, and then pray to Boolah Jesus in that case. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Crypto News Network? And thank you for joining in, man. Chainlink, yeah, we can do link for sure. And man, Hootie Hennessy, he hasn't been at it for a while, but it did close below 26 or yeah, 27 bucks last week. So probably not too interested after that. Let's see, and what time frames are you looking at? You have no time frames. You know, same kind of bear setup here that I see on many other altcoins as well. I could very easily have a move back up to 27 and a half or so, but not great. I would say that the daily will salvage itself back above about 26 and a half on today's closure. So if you do see a daily closure today at 8 p.m. Eastern time above, let me just get rid of that, stupid notifications, back above about 26 and a half, I would look for this one to, wouldn't necessarily call this a bear trap, but I would be looking for a decent sized move to the upside, somewhere around about 29 to 29 and a quarter. Bear trap would be confirmed back above about 30.80 or so. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin in this case, but it is a little bit more on the relatively weak side, to be fair. Monthly's okay, I guess. 5-day, that's not acting too strong here. If Bitcoin breaks down, this thing's going to find its way back down to like 17 and a half or so. 4-hour, where would I invalidate this one for a downside move first? This one pretty simple, back down below about 23 and a quarter. Until then, short term, I'll be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about 27. Then keep an eye on the daily closure, and then you can see how that can bleed into the next sort of effects. But sorry, 26 and a half is that major area, but even the 4-hour target would be higher than that. So hey, it's going to have a chance here, but you know, easy to watch Bitcoin as long as Bitcoin's operating on lower highs. Hard to be bullish on many altcoins, especially ones that have not been acting strong here. The strong ones have actually even been making new highs, which is incredibly impressive. Incredibly fucking impressive, actually. What's up, Arif? We've looked at EGLD, so I'm guessing I'm just getting to this one a little bit later, but I'm actually going to upload a video on it. If I recall properly, it looked really, really good. John Jiggy, Mr. John Dude, he's back. I did buy Meta here for a Hopium pump, lol. Can you check out Velos? If not on TradingView, then Mina UST. Okay, man, you are all over the very obscure shitcoins here. Okay, Velos, whatever the fuck loss, is on TradingView, so that's cool. No time frames, longer term. Okay, so like a weekly. Hey, this one's actually been around for, well, I guess a decent amount of time for a shitcoin, right? Man, this thing is highly liquid. Holy fuck, look at this one right here. Just imagine being impaled on this girthy red dildo. 67% down in 1 week. Oh my lord, man. Oh, and then continuation of the next. Fucking goddamn, man. What the hell is this? What the fucking hell is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. That is absolutely devastating. Man, this thing moves so much. And it did it again last week too. What the fuck? Holy shit. This thing moves 50% like it's nothing. Oh my god. That is insane, man. You have balls of steel to trade something like this, man. I do not. Long term, okay. Go to the monthly right here. Look, if this thing closes anywhere here or higher, anywhere even above 18 cents, I'd probably be looking for a good October or at least a good November. But where does this thing come into trouble, especially on like a daily? Back down below about 16 cents or so. In short term, I do think it comes back down to like 1770, but should bounce there, at least on first pass. Really, really sloppy chart here, though. I expect that this thing doesn't get traded too much. But man, that is... what you don't have to trade shit like this, man. That is insane. That is fucking insane. I mean, it's done this multiple times within months 50% moves. I mean, let's look at this one right here. This one actually kind of like held the move too, up 120%, holds 40% of that move. My lord. Oh my god, man. All right, we can look at HBAR. Yeah, Hadoop hash graph, I believe. Bar USD. See what we got right here. Let's see what we got. Weekly looks corrective to me. Technically speaking, it is ranging, but I do think that this one is more poised to go to the downside at 27 cent first. I would invalidate that back above about 38.5 cent. 4 hour is okay. Short term should pop back up to about 36 cent, but again, hard chart to love on the very high term time frames as long as you're below about 39 cent on a 4 hour. Back above 39 cent, this looks really, really good though for continuation. Probably not this week, probably not next week, but maybe like late October. And this long term is a very good chart, no doubt. Monthly, you know, yeah, any sort of a closure above 38 cent or 40 cent is going to look really, really good. And I am inclined to think that that probably will happen. But hey, you know, your range right now is very, very simple, very fucking simple. And where would I invalidate this one? Or I don't, sorry, I wouldn't necessarily invalidate, but where would I say that the bearish scenario is going to happen? Extremely likely. And this one's going to trade down first. 33.3 cent right there on a 4 hour closure. Even I'd be looking for this one to try for another move somewhere down below about 28 to 29 cent or so, and probably try for a bounce there and, you know, come back maybe in like October or so. Okay, cool. Simply Gain says, opinion on Ethereum on daily right now compared to June to September of 2017. Same drop and retrace. Ethereum in 2017 touched daily 200 EMA before huge rally. All right. All right. So let me just pull up exactly what you're talking about first. All right. So you're going back to way back. And let me put on log scale. Way back on over here. And let's see. Okay. So you are talking June to September. Oh, you're talking about this. I actually remember this one. I remember this one, man. Remember, you're from the MISC as well, and you're probably trading it during this time too. Okay, yeah, June to September. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I definitely remember this one, and then it went on its fucking massive ride. Okay, so basically what you're saying is same drop and retrace from all-time high. All right, let's check it out. First things first, let's confirm. About 70% down, pops back up about 180%. Oh my lord. Okay, and then down to the 200 for 50%. So again, it was 70, 100 or so, and then 50. Let's check that out. All right. Boom. 60, similar. Pops back up. Yeah, about the same move to the upside as well. And then down again to the 200, which we pretty much got already. 30% move right there. It's not necessarily the same percentages, but it's, you know, it rhymes. It rhymes in this case, which is fine. But like, I think you're asking, do I think that this is a fractal of some sorts? No, I don't, because this was obviously an ascending triangle right here, right? This was obvious reaccumulation. You could see that these spike lows were coming in on nice higher lows, and this was like textbook right here. This was actually a very easy call back in the day. Baking in there for a while. This one over here, less so. If we were to play something like that, it'd probably be some more like, I mean, you could maybe say it's going to be like that. Maybe actually, yes. You know, actually, sorry. I stand corrected. You would be right. This one's just operating on like a much greater scale. That would be the bullish view on this, obviously. The bullish view is that this one does not break back down below, especially, you know, 2,700. Or maybe give it the benefit of the doubt and say 2,600 on a daily closure. But until then, yeah, I guess you do still have your rise and bottoms, and it would kind of work out like this. Just looks sloppy. Yeah, fair enough. I guess you do have some right there, and we could make a measure move on this. Now we're making a lot of assumptions right here, obviously. A lot's going to be, decided on the the quarterly closure here, but assuming that it is good, that would actually be directly in line with the 2-spot 618 extension. That's actually textbook. That is fucking textbook right there, and that is just shy of $6,000. I think what's a little bit more compelling is actually Ethereum's fractal in comparison to what Bitcoin did during I think that same year, in fact. Very, very similar price action right there. But again, fractals are interesting because they work, but they don't work. Fractals definitely work. Like price action is fractal, no doubt about that. But what I fear is what I saw like a lot in 2018 and 2019, where people are trying to like put a fucking fractal in everything. And it's like, okay, yeah, this might work out, but where do you manage risk on this shit? Obviously like a good trader is going to know where to manage risk on it, but I just saw like a lot of bullshit around that time where people were making these fractals saying like, Bitcoin's going to go to crazy numbers in 2018, 19, and 2018, 2019, and all of those were obviously not true. Let's see. Chemoto wants to look at Atom 4-hour and daily. Sure. See. All right. Cosmos here. You're looking at 4-hour and daily. 4-hour. I mean, technically speaking, this is fine, but I would not like it below 37 and 80 cents. I'm inclined to say that this one, corrects first to the downside, but long term it's good. Long term, obviously good. Daily here is going to cross down, or going to remain down as long as below 40.50. 12 hours actually same, 40.75. 4-hour is showing 37.21, and hourly is down as long as below 40.25. I'd go as far as saying if today fails to get back above about 40 by daily closure, I'd probably be looking for this one to correct down first. Another drive down to about $35, probably bounce there, and then continuation lower towards 28.5. Until that happens though, and if it were to close above $40 today, I'd be looking for, I guess, a move to new all-time highs before end of week. Look pretty damn good on the 5-day too, but I am seeing a lot of signals of like slowdown right here, so I'd be a little bit careful with it. But those would be my conditions on something like this. Yeah, it's kind of cruising around right here. Yeah, it's gonna have a chance. It's gonna have a chance. And easier to watch Bitcoin for direction. What's up, Kendrick? Thank you, homie. On FET USD, short-term target is $1. Yeah, I would agree with that. By Argo Inside, I meant I took an equal. Oh yeah. And that's honestly the way to do it, in my opinion. And it sounds like it's working really fucking well for you too, which is awesome, man. Hell yeah. There you go. And Denny says XRP has really strong support at 0. For all the hate that XRP gets, there is one thing that you can say about XRP. It does not take out its macro lows. So while nothing really truly goes to 0, right? Like when people say it's going to go to 0, like they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Sorry, and I don't mean that as an aside to you, but look at it like long term. And look, I don't love nor hate Ripple. I know that like people don't like it mostly because the XRP army from back in 2017 and 2018 was like kind of like another army that we see nowadays that can be a little bit abrasive, and it's like basically if you don't hold the same view as me, then you're the enemy and we'll just go attack you, which is not what reasonable people do. But yeah, man, over the long period of time, if you're going to give it its credit, where I don't see any reason why not to, it does hold the macro lows. So I would actually be very surprised to see this thing back down below 15 cents or so. And for what it's worth, long term, this is actually very constructive right here. Obvious accumulation going between about 2018 and pretty much where we're at right now. In this one, it sounds like they're going to win their lawsuit with the SEC is kind of what I'm hearing. Hedger Camp says, oh yeah, man. Yeah, I actually do remember that guy. That's funny you bring up his name. I actually do remember that guy. That was like one of the first channels that I think I kind of happened upon on YouTube. I remember thinking to myself, it's like, well, I don't even need to complain that sentence, man. Who knows what the fuck happened with him? Probably not too good. Oh, I completely forgot to turn on the alerts this whole goddamn stream. I think. Yeah, I did. Holy shit, man. My bad. Bitcoin maximalist. I don't know. It's actually referencing another community that's extremely hostile nowadays. Bitcoin maximalists, I don't really hear too much from them, to be fair, except for like that one guy, Peter McCormick, who I think is just kind I don't need to give my opinion on him, but man, like he just seems very unreasonable. He had Eric Weinstein. Like I couldn't listen to the interview with him and Eric Weinstein because it's just like, okay, you just make people who believe in Bitcoiners look like children, like immature children. Embarrassing, very fucking embarrassing. But you know, it's also difficult to be someone like him too. He's under the spotlight all the time, and I probably wouldn't do too much better, to be fair. I also don't meet fucking heads of state either, you know. So man, that fucking interview was very difficult to listen to. At least Tyler from Ikegi was in that, and he could be kind of the voice of reason. But I was actually a little bit, and that guy's very sharp usually, but I thought that he did an okay job. But I know that he's definitely better than that, than what he showed there. Yeah, the interview was fucking brutal. It was fucking brutal. Oh, who could that be? So let's go, Hans mom. Yeah, he can probably figure that one out. Where is Elsa? Elsa is in Spain right now, actually, or Mallorca, whatever the fuck that name island is. She's having a nice little vacation. She needs the sun, man. I don't need the sun. Reading some of the comments right here. What's up, Ian Terry? We actually looked at AVAX earlier. I could just briefly go back to it right. Let's see. Pretty good still. I do think it could very easily correct down if Bitcoin fails $43,000. I'd probably be looking for this one to work its way back down to the mid to low 50s. But long term, it's very good. You know, the monthly closures is what I'm looking towards this week, and you know, if this thing closes anywhere above 60, 65, especially, I'll be looking for new all-time highs in at latest November, but probably October. It looked very, very good. I predict the future Bitcoin price by your hair. Well, fair enough, man. Yeah, kind of like that, Texas. Kind of like that, man. It's just such a weird thing to see that people will identify with a coin. They will identify so much with a coin that if you have a different opinion than them, not even criticizing, but just a different opinion than someone in that community, they will attack you as if you insulted their very being. And that's that's a spiritual conversation, obviously, but it's so interesting to me that like some communities can really create something like that. You know, usually you need a very strong leader, someone who you might even say manipulative, probably very manipulative in a lot of ways. And they will make you take on the identity of these coins because they know that once they do that, once they have that, once they can actually not force people, but kind of lead people to do that, they have them. Because once you start to associate with something like that, your whole identity, everything that you do is revolving around that. You start to change your name to those communities. Like, how many people do you see with XRP in their name? And I say this with love because actually one of my good friends has XRP in his name, Mr. XRPF. He's great, but I think he kind of does it as a joke. But when you identify yourself by the community that you're in, you're no longer an individual. And when you're no longer an individual, you don't think for yourself anymore. You pass off the thinking. You don't take the responsibility for thinking anymore, and instead you put it on someone else. And then that person does the thinking. And we like to do that as humans. That's why we kind of organize ourselves into hierarchies because, it takes a lot of effort to think, right? And then that's why you hear a lot of these communities, they parrot whatever their leader says. Their leader will say, XYZ, Bitcoin's going to, XYZ price. And then all of them will say the same thing. And I see it, man. It's so interesting. It's so very interesting to me. And I can't get over, like, why does that happen? Or I guess the reason why it happens is because people don't want the responsibility for thinking for themselves. And but like, why are people so quick to do that? Why are people so quick to do that? That is what I actually spend a lot of time thinking about that. Anyways, laser eyes would be one too. Yeah, man, we could definitely do it for the Bitcoin community. Laser eyes, like, why? And most people do have a Bitcoin in their username as well, like for the very toxic Bitcoin maximalists, right? I remember there's one guy at I was listening to, oh my god, man, that Bitcoin conference was just a fucking cringe fest of, it's like, god damn, man, like, dude, how do you get dressed in the morning? Anyways, what's up, Nimbo? I see you there. I see you, sir. Yeah, we can look at Solana. We actually haven't looked at Solana today, and Solana's like usually very, very popular. I'm kind of surprised. Let's see. What do we have over here? Would look really good with the daily back above 150 today in validation, or at least bearish below about 133.5. You're looking for this one to come back down to 115 after that, but Yeah, just easier to watch Bitcoin right now. It's showing some more short-term upside signals and not 5 days. I'm not a humongous fan of that, but I'm gonna make an excuse for it. Weekly, yeah, if this thing wants to correct, it's gonna come down to like 110 or so. Still be a phenomenally good chart long term, but you know, corrections are meant to happen, obviously. Yes, same as Ethereum. You know, all communities have them, right? But what I'm kind of focusing on is like when there's like a singular person, you know, like the fucking demagogue, right? That is very interesting to me, how that even happens, you know, how that even happens. Very fucking interesting. It's a little bit more organic when you don't have like a face on your, you know, on your community, like a Bitcoin. I guess you have Satoshi, but no one's like, well, I guess people do make their name Satoshi, although it's, I don't know. I don't really think too much of it. You know, all communities have it. Certainly, it's just very interesting to me to see. Very fucking interesting. He's saying Cardano. I'm actually not talking about Cardano, but I don't really know too much about that one. And I don't really see anyone with like an ADA in their name, to be fair as well. Like I don't see anyone who's like Cardano Trooper, you know, or something like that. He like goes on a fucking Twitter crusade. You know, when they see some. Then again, I don't spend too much of my time there either, like by design. OMG, you want to look at OMG shitcoin? Sure. Look at OMG piece of shit. Actually, not too bad right here on the daily. Pretty bad over the long period of time, but what's monthly looking like? Monthly's good. This one probably does pull through. Very, very weak though. Very fucking weak long term. Could have sworn you talk. I mean, I could be talking about a lot of different communities. Absolutely. I did buy the house, Rocky G, but I don't get to move into it for another year. Actually, they're still building it. Cardacchio plebs? Cardacchio. Yeah, man, it's a very interesting thing. You know, you'll notice it around, but I've also kind of come into I've met a lot of very interesting people through this community. And one of the people that I met is like, he's like a marketing guy. He's like a marketing guru, but he's kind of like on the more sleazy side. And he would tell you this himself, by the way. I won't give away his name because he probably wants to remain anonymous. But he was telling me like how a lot of these projects do their marketing. And what they do is they'll actually buy Twitter accounts. They'll buy Twitter accounts. And that's why a lot of the time you see like these Twitter accounts for these communities, if you actually go and look at them, they will be very new, usually, and they'll come from about the same join date, and they'll only post about one thing. It's like, look, if you only post about one thing, like that's kind of strange, you know, because we're human beings and we do a lot of different things. So if you like completely having your life revolve around some sort of, you know, fucking inanimate coin, because your leader told you to, like, that's strange. But you know, it kind of creates the illusion of like a whole community around that too. There's a lot of games that get played, especially in cryptocurrency, because you know this is not really regulated, or at least it's not yet. And those games are fucking dirty, and I didn't know that until recently, man. I didn't fucking know that at all until recently. What's up, Zaddy? Boltard, Krown evolving into Krusty, lol. Can we see seller on the 4-hour daily? Yeah, I mean, we actually already looked at this one. It was pretty good, and I did record a video on it if I recall. Yeah, this one's very good long term. If it wants to correct down, 13 cents where I'll be looking towards, but generally speaking, I'll be looking for a very good October. And like I said, I'll put a video up on this one later today. In the Steam stream right now, I do have to actually have to go to the bank and give them my ID. Figure that shit out so I can finally use my goddamn bank account. That'd be good. What's up, Tony? How you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. It's also very interesting to see a lot of the same people from that community crossing into the other community as well. That also is very fucking interesting to me. Is Zill dead? I don't know, but Zill is another one where like they would hire, like I would guess, Russian bots or just any bots basically to invade my comment section back in 2018. Is it dead? Look, it's dead only if the rest of the market is dead, but is it the most impressive chart right here? No, I think it could very easily have a move back up to like 9.25, maybe even 10 cent, but this thing looks like it wants to come back down to 6.3. It's very weak. It's very relatively weak here. It's a very unimpressive chart, all things considered. We could do Cardano really quickly, and then I'll probably be signing off. I am getting rather hungry myself. Cardano versus the dollar. Again, looking at the monthly, I don't hate this chart, obviously. Looking at the weekly, don't hit it as well, but you do have an obvious pivot right at 190 daily. Daily does not look too hot right here. Daily looks like it wants to slink back over. Look, if this thing does come back down below basically $2 on a daily, or even just comes back below yesterday's low, this thing's going to correct much further down. And when I say much further down, I mean probably to the tune of like 160 to 169 region, somewhere around the 200s right here. It still look, decently well long term, but it'd imply a much more prolonged consolidation here. Obviously, looking at a 4-hour. I'm not a big fan of that lower high right there. Hard to be bullish on this one, especially as long as below about 242. Above 242, I'd be looking for a move back around about 260 to 270-ish region, and then come back to it after that. But yeah, man. We do certainly see there's a handful of coins that we've seen today that are very fucking strong, and they look very poised to have a good October, and I suspect that they probably will. But a lot of weakness in this market right now. And if Bitcoin does come back down below $43,000, I would look at that as your big warning signal that we will start to trudge our way and spend some time below the 200s at that point. Again, I do think that it's gonna have a chance here. It's definitely gonna have a chance, but stalling at this reach right here, not the best signal. CCast says happy Monday. Let's do this shit on Hex. We could do some Hex. All right, you want to look at Hex right now? I think I called a top there at around 50 cents and said that it'd probably grind that area for a little bit of time, and I think it's doing exactly that right now. This, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this one. Yeah, this to me does look like a top. 5 days going to be closing today. Maybe I change that if this thing closes back above about 48 cents, 49 cents especially. Weekly, anywhere below 35 cents, and I believe that this one works its way down towards 20 to 25 cents minimum into probably November. Long term, wouldn't be surprised to see it back down into like the mid or low teens if that were to happen. But a lot's going to be decided on this, on this week right here. And I do think that short term, it probably does come back down to like 40 cents. The question is, does it actually break any critical levels today? Probably not. I don't think this one breaks down today if it is going to break down. And hey, where am I going to be wrong on this one? It's always important to have an invalidation because I can certainly be wrong on this one. Any sort of a daily closure on new highs, essentially 48.5 cent or so is where I can be looking for. And at that point, I'd probably be looking for an extension at somewhere around about 56, maybe even as much as 60 cents first before the next potential short-term top. But until then, if the Hexicans are listening right now, I was bullish on this one all the way through about 2 cents, all the way to 50 cents. This is the first time they've really started to call a top on this one. Let's look at the monthly. Monthly's not bad. That would be the hopium right here, but here's a real, that is just an insane chart, That is an insane chart. 4-star, what's up, 4-star? Yeah, we could look at that. I'm going to be closing this thing down soon enough, though. AAPL. Apple on NAS. And you're looking at possible bouncy areas for the monthly specifically. Monthly, I would really like it if it came down to like 120. Okay, so basically let's address the assumption here though. You're assuming that this is going to top out right here. I think that that's certainly possible. You almost have a bearish engulfing if this thing closed back down below 145. I would be looking for next bounce area at around 135.5 on the monthly, and then I don't think that things would really stop there. I do think that things would come down further south to like 115 to 120ish region over time. It's going to take like a long time here. Daily probably opens up on a bounce to 150 or so. A rejection at 150 would be pretty devastating coming into end of month here. However, let's see what the quarter looks like just out of curiosity. Still pretty good, but if this thing were to close below 140 end of quarter, that's going to look like a generational top. Oh my god, man. Yeah, that would. Well, we could always put on log scale. There we go. Feels better now, doesn't it? But yeah, man, again, we are assuming that this is topping here. I wouldn't hold on to that belief just yet. If this thing closes back above about, especially 150, but even back above about 148, I'd say this one, keeps the hopium alive for at least another month or two. Again, I am looking for a correction in traditional markets, but probably either earliest, like late October or November. Maybe even as deep as December there. Okay, cool. We're actually going to go over Bitcoin soon enough. Bitcoin predictions this month. Again, there's no such thing as predictions in trading. There's only statistics, sir. Jordan Knox's RNO. Okay, this is going to be the last one. Then we'll go over Bitcoin really quickly. RNO, Renal. This thing? Or are you talking about, oh no, you're probably talking about Rhino Med. Pretty good on the monthly right here. Cracking back above the last monthly high. So we do have a reversal, higher lows, higher highs, good. Probably looking for a decent October, November, coming back up to like 50 cents or so. But short term, is this one likely to range a bit more between about 41 cent and all the way down to like 30 cent? Probably yes. I would invalidate this below about 29 cent, but until that happens, I'd be looking at this pretty damn good. All right, cool. Let's go wrap up Bitcoin, and then we'll send you off on your very merry way. All right. Here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, and a lot going to be decided this week, it looks like, as we do come to the culmination of the infrastructure deal, which is going to be, I believe, on Thursday for the vote. And with that in mind, if the result is bad, I probably would be looking for a nice move down, as usual. Anyways, for what it's worth right now, we do have a pretty obvious structure going on right here. And if you are bullish, you are looking at this as a somewhat immature W formation with resolution back above about 45,000 bucks. If that were to happen, meaning that you do get a 4-hour closure above about 45,000 or just a wick higher than what you saw right here, which is 45,152 on the index, then I would be looking for a move first, somewhere just shy of 47,000 bucks at the very least. Now, with that said, the W formation would have a measured move, and as it's shown right here, it actually would put Bitcoin above its $48,000 high. If you recall, like a week or two ago when I was talking about this region, that is the major region to be aware of. I would call a bear trap confirmation above that region and, look for retests of the prior highs of this run, and then very likely, new highs on this run into the deeper 50s into October. But for what it's worth right now, if Bitcoin does start to come back down and either take out the last 42,700 low right here on a tick basis or have a 4-hour closure below 43,000 bucks, probably better to wait for a closure in this case, I would be looking for this to come down. I mean, we did break the 21 on the weekly right here. That is, traditionally very, 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 very important for Bitcoin's long-term trend. And we are being governed by the 10 simple as well. This is not a bullish setup, to be fair. And we do see on the line chart, this is clearly a lower high, our first lower high confirmation on the weekly since, 2020s over here, realistically. So with that in mind, I typically do look for corrections down to the 55, which is in the mid 30s right now. And personally speaking, I do think that if Bitcoin were to choose the southern route on this one, meaning that we do start to close below 43, which is going to be your first big warning flag, and full on confirmation with a daily below 42,000 bucks right here, I would be looking for Bitcoin to fill the CME gap all the way back down to 33 or 34 or so from late July right there. With that in mind, we do see momentum oscillators over here, or let's actually go to momentum oscillators over here, are going to be a bit of a wild card today. Let's go over to CME. CME daily Stokes will actually cross back onto the upside with the closure above 42,000 bucks. Good. Okay. 12-hour will be crossing back up, or will be remaining up as long as above 43. 4-hour will be freshly crossing up with the closure above 41,850, and hourly is flopping down below 44.5, which, by the way, the hourly has been really, really good recently. So with that said, I would feel comfortable saying a couple things here. If Bitcoin does take out 45,000 bucks today, especially, then yes, I would be looking for at least a move to 47. It's probably going to be in line, of course, with one of our fib retracements right here. If I put them back on, yeah, that's going to be right around the 786. So 47 at the very least. Technically, you would have a technical target to a new high on this one. If that happens, I would call a bear trap confirmation and look for big moves up over the next few weeks into the deeper 50s, essentially, with stops along the way, obviously. And then, of course, risk or invalidation would be below about 43. And for what it's worth right now, this is more of a bearish setup than a bullish setup, to be fair. 5 days is going to be closing today as well. Any sort of a closure below the 21 is going to be your first open and closure below that, since, look at the last one we saw that right on over here. That was essentially your last major correction in late May. So, lots going to be decided today, it looks like. Of course, you got the infrastructure deal coming in on Thursday as well, which will move the markets. But do we get a move down first? Do we get like a quick wick down, into the mid to low $30,000 territory first? I think it's very possible, assuming that those conditions are met. You might get some like this. And I do want to be on the record as saying, I do not think that Bitcoin is going to actually break below 30,000 bucks. I think that you'd probably get something like this. I still do like the underlying market dynamics. It's very clear that accumulation is going on within this region between low 30s and low 40s. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this, maybe based off of like some China bullshit news and the infrastructure deal, and then maybe close back up above, $40,000 if that were to happen. But of course, we'll be doing these videos daily, so we will follow up on that. And again, actually, even right now, the 4-hour time frame is showing a lot. So below $43,000, big first warning signal. Daily closure below 42. I don't think that there's any more boolah hopium for short, medium, or maybe even, I wouldn't say long term, because I still do like this one long term. But also keep in mind, we do have the quarterly closure coming in at on Thursday, and any sort of a quarterly closure above the top side Toronto band at $44,000, which Bitcoin's within striking distance right now. That would also look really, really good for probably new all-time highs before end of year. Probably still looking at 6-digit Bitcoin by that point. So. This is what I'd really be waiting on for myself, but lower term timeframes, do seem to hold a lot of weight right now. So with that said, hope this one serves you well. I'll be signing off now. Take care and see you soon. Alrighty, sirs and zers, I am going to be signing off now. I need to eat some food, need to get on my very merry way, and I want to send you on your very merry way as well. So with that said, I salute you, wish you the best yet again, and enjoy the outro tunes. Take care.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it.